Go.
It's just 7 people waiting.
You're good.
Am I? We'll find out.
Go.
Is it working, guys?
So,
Ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, it is working. Okay, qualifying. Welcome. Well, let me do my introduction real quick. Let me get ready. Well, everybody, welcome to the heat of the June summer. And for round 7, we're now halfway through the season. Round 7 for what was supposed to be the Korean Grand Prix, but instead we have it at the mesmerising to look at, but for the drivers, not so great, Sendai Highland, which will host round 7 of the championship. Yet again, not in South Korea, but for the Japanese Grand Prix. And the track itself looks really good. Well, that's what you'd think, but the drivers have complained a lot. This is a track with a lot of high-speed corners, but mainly hairpins. And hairpins, we saw it in Morocco 2 weeks ago, they catch out a lot of drivers a lot of the time. So the drivers have not liked it. A few sharp corners, a lot of hairpins, and of course, as I said, a lot of high-speed corners. It's a mix of all 3 that you would want in a racetrack, which should make the race entertaining, but let's see how the drivers fare. And if you quickly look up into the booth, hello, I'm your commentator for today, Key and GP, and alongside me for this, hopefully, incredible instalment of Romula One is G-Force, the oh-so-consistent YouTuber and oh-so-prevalent commentator here in Romula One, and our producer, and I guess also commentator, Players. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the booth, or if you're new to the booth, welcome. And so, for this race, we did have technical issues, by the way. That's why you're seeing the end of Q1. We had technical issues.
Oh, it started to rain here, yeah.
Oh!
It is bottom 5 out here today in Q1, and we have 9 seconds left, actually, as we see the leaderboard here. The bottom 5 currently are Voltron, the third, Dom, Gran and F1 fan. 5 of them, a couple of them are pretty fast drivers. You wouldn't really expect to be down there.
Right.
But yeah, the rain is actually starting to ramp up here. Already 3% on the track. As we've known, there's been a lot of speculation about the weather in Sendai, and now it's hit the track with the weather slightly increasing. Drivers will scramble to go on the Inter tires for Q2. But for now, we have the Q1 timings done, I think, as there are a couple setting their laps now. I think the third is one of them in the bottom as well as Voltron.
Wow.
Yep.
Outguard.
Is Outguard?
Outguard hit the wall in dramatic style.
Oh, that's big. That's big for the Craig Motorsports driver. Reigning winner in Morocco. Yeah, I was about to say as well with the forecast, Q1, it wasn't meant to rain. It was forecast to be dry all qualifying session. There was a 15% chance in Q2, but now it is raining already. And actually for Q3, a 35% chance of rain. Well, we don't even need to talk about percentages anymore. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. And that should really make it a weird qualifying session, the results for the new qualifying session.
10.6% track, water.
Oh, wow. So in this knockout formatted qualifying session, we've got, I believe, the top 15, is it, going through? Yes, it is, I think. The big drivers, actually, that are out of qualifying. Domji and the third, they're normally through into Q2. Domji was actually into Q3 last 2 rounds. So that is very, well, I'd like to say bad. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know why the third hasn't had the best of qualifying because he's been up all night playing Rust, and so he's very tired. Hasn't attended FE1 and all of FE2 basically. But yeah, P18, he's gonna have to fight his way back through the rain if he wants chances of points, especially filling in the boots of. Actually, no, he's not filling the boots of Job. He's filling the boots of Wolf at Artemis here because Wolf decided to retire. So let's see whether or not he can manage to put it back in the race. But yeah, as for the rest of the people qualified, or few people who've been eliminated, it's actually the two forwards, Voltron and Gran, whatever. They haven't really had a special weekend by any means so far. It's kind of an expected Q1 exit for the both of them. Let's see whether or not they manage to pick it up in the race, though. The rain does invite new challenges. I mean, there's also a thing with, what's it called, having no practice in the rain because you don't have qualifying Q2 or Q3. So it will be kind of unlucky for the Q1 drivers to go out and have no practice in the rain whatsoever.
Well, qualifying 2 is upon us. Well, about to be upon us. And some of the news headlines, you could say, for this weekend. Dakar, who also got P1 in qualifying 1 just now. He's gotten P1 in all 3 practice sessions. And it seems like no one can beat him. The closest were Train Pig and Critical Noob, who in the first 2 practice sessions at the very least, I don't know about the final one, got 2nd and 3rd. So they're the closest to Dakar, it seems like. But right now, it looks like it could be a pretty easy, pretty dominant weekend for Dakar. And speaking of dominance, well, it wasn't a story of dominance for Dakar 2 weeks ago in Marrakesh. Instead, it was the Crake of Outguard who took the win. But the Crakes, today at least, just haven't seemed like they were on the pace. Haven't gotten in the top 3 in the practice sessions. Not looking so good for them.
Oh, it seems like some people are choosing inters and some people are risking it on softs, trying to get the last grip out of the soft before it turns to inter territory.
By the way, players, is there any way you can use the not this camera angle, but the other one? I forgot what it's called. The one that you... So not this,
set up the other ones.
Because this looks not the greatest. If I... Oh, off and up to... Was that hyperdrive?
Nah. Who went off?
I saw someone in the corner of the screen just go off. I'm looking here. Oh yeah, was it a hyperdrive? Went over the sausage curb on the inside and just went straight off.
Yeah, but now the drivers are starting to set Q2 laps, the ones on the softs as well. It looks like they're really trying to extract everything they can before the wets stop or the wets become the more superior tire. But for now, we have to see whether or not these softs manage to bring them any good lap times. It's Dakar, Toots, Chris, Ratier, Lance, and Critical trying this out. Let's see whether or not they manage to set a good enough lap on these tires. Or if they, make a mistake and they do not manage to extract the full potential of what they could. As we see Chris along here going very wide into that corner, not going to be ideal for his lap time. But for the rest of the cars, Dakar, 25.6, fastest Sector 1 we've seen so far. Already 3 seconds behind what we would see in regular dry conditions. So the wets are really starting to take a toll on the lap times. As we can just see the cars just go wide here. It's way too wet for the softs to make a good enough impact, I think. But for now, these drivers are going to continue to charge forward. Dakar's still ahead in P1. Can he manage to keep this Sector 2? I don't think he actually managed to cross the Sector 2 line here, as we see Chris and Toots, the only ones and Cobson as well, crossing the Sector 2 line. So can they finish off this lap and get a good enough time in the softs to set a good enough lap time? But for other cars, in the enters, you see Outguard as well. He set a 33.2 in Sector 2, so it proves that the inters may just be the better tire here, as we have only 6 minutes 43 seconds left of Q2 to go. As Chris rounds off, he's sliding through there. That's really not going to be useful for his time, and he crosses a line. It's going to be a 140.0.
Oh, wide goes these at the hyperdrive. Is it? Because honestly, with the rain getting worse, It gets worse. Daker's now on intermediate. Oh, Outguard's crossed the line. Outguard has taken provisional pole position. That, or at least on the leaderboard, it says that. Because Daker, if the fastest lap was on softs, and it's under a 1 minute 30, then I think that would be, at least for this qualifying session, the pole lap.
Yeah, that means we're going to have a lot of, laps for the race as well, which could be detrimental for the fuel or consumption of the cars, because there might be some who may not even be able to finish the race depending on the amount of fuel. But we'll have to see as the session continues. As now we have James setting a purple Sector 1 and a pretty good Sector 2 time. Can he manage to take pole in Q2 here? For now, as he is still trying to battle the conditions on the track here. And whether or not he can manage to finish that, we'll have to see. But other drivers are also rapid to setting times. Jope had a purple Sector 1, but that was taken away. And now he's just fighting to try and get into the top 10. I don't know how many drivers get eliminated, but it will be around the top 10 as drivers just scrambling to set times here on the inters now. It's definitely fully wet as the track water is now 22.2%.
Well, for Outguard, actually the train pig has provisional pole position for now. Outguard and Daker are down in 6th and 7th. It's not looking the best for them. Outguard and the Crakes, they just haven't been on form, really, in these first two, in the practice sessions here. They've been a bit faster. But with the rain getting worse and worse and worse, it could just very well make at least qualifying 3 chaotic as hell. It's going to be very entertaining. Of course, you said with the race being longer, that might make the race even better, honestly. Strategy is going to be really interesting here, and you can all watch it live here on YouTube. It's going to be very exciting, so buckle up, because 4 minutes left in Q2, and then qualifying 3 left before the all-important race here in Sendai Highland. Here's Outguard, number 87 Crate Motorsports car. On the inters, everyone's on the inters now. Those softs at the start of the qualifying session, they're all gone. It's too wet. They have to keep going on intermediates. One man on intermediates, Daker in the Turkington. He's just taken provisional pole position here in Japan. And now Outguard is going to try and do what he did. Take P1, beat Daker at his own game. Cross the line. Not cross the line, sorry. Honestly, where is he on the track? Damn. Anyways.
But yeah, there's a lot of green sectors now, actually, as you can see. Job has 2 green sectors, Critical has green sector 1, Grati has green sector 1. So times are definitely improving as the drivers are getting more used to the wet conditions as well, with Fernand getting 25.4. Not going to be, it's actually pretty one of the faster sector ones we've seen, but rest of the drivers trying to scramble across the finish line. I've said scramble, it's kind of like a scrambled egg out here, or chaotic, but then Chris goes P6, very nice for him, settles behind the hyperdrive clocks, who by 9,000ths actually. So we'll have to see whether or not that manages to change as drivers continue to set laps here. A crate crossing the line, I forgot. I think it was Outguard here.
And doesn't improve. Right now, I think he's just going to go through to Q3. But it's not looking like how he might have wanted it. He's off the pace. He's really off the pace. He didn't improve that lap. And, well, if he can't improve, he's going to have to, have a difficult race. He's in the championship hunt. He's only, 15 points behind? So, especially now that we're in the second half of the season, he needs to absolutely go for it. And it's going to be very difficult for him if he can't, if he just doesn't have the pace.
Yep, but as we have the bottom six now, actually, Acer's in the bottom six. That's not really where you want to see the Turkington driver there, as he's usually much more up there, especially with his teammate being in provisional pole position for Q2. I mean, De Care really just going for the Grand Slam today. He's told us many times that he's trying to go for it and prove that he's not the second best driver in this league. He is the first to caster, but now we have six drivers out for Q2. Acer still there. Jope as well, the new hyperdrive driver, moving away from Artemis and now into the car alongside Clocks. Clocks is in P5, which is pretty good for him. Pretty average day at the average day in the life of Clocks, in the top 10 consistently. But Jope in P12, can he manage to get in Q3 with his fellow driver, or will he manage to stay, or will he be forced to stay in the bottom six as the rest of the drivers also improve alongside of him as well? Cobson with a green sector one.
Eliminated.
The what?
Yeah.
The bottom 8? I thought it was the bottom 6. That's what I've been told.
Is it the bottom 6?
It is the bottom 6. So we have 10 in in Q3.
So currently Ace is in the drop zone. Outguard is in the danger zone. He's not out yet, but well, one mishap, and he could very well have to fall at the second hurdle. Here's the meme racing car sliding, both the front and the rear end of the car, just wiggling about there on the wet surface. He doesn't look like this critical noob, isn't it? He's not looking like he's going the fastest. Oh,
and he's broken his front wing.
Yeah,
that means he's out for Q2. That's really gonna be unfortunate for him, Acer, because he's broken his front wing. Can't get out now, and now he's forced. Outguard is on the cusp as well. He isn't improving. Cobson looking likely to potentially dethrone him there. Oh, never mind, as he goes P15. And I think Outguard might just be safe from the drop here, as no other driver seems to improve. So Outguard can thank his lucky stars that he's in Q3.
So Q2, well, I think everyone's now finished. The drivers are out. Toots, Cubson, Canny, Lance. I don't know their names, so I'm just gonna say their abbreviation. Super Joe, isn't it? And Acer. They all fall at the second hurdle.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate for them. But now we have our top 10. They care. The Train Pig, James, Fernand, Clocks, Chris, Critical, Ratia, ASM, and Outguard. Expect the drivers up there, no real shocks into Q3. James, of course, the debutant in the Midnight Star. I think this is only one of the rounds he can drive, and he's making a very good impact for himself as he is in top 3 for Q2. But whether or not he manages to convert that in Q3, we'll have to see, as I think the rain actually continues to ramp up. It's now 31.4%.
Oh, yeah.
Increased significantly from the beginning of Q2, which was around 15%, I think.
So it is raining a lot, and on our weather forecast, it's set to be even worse for the race. 40 to 60% it is right now. So it could double in rain, which for the drivers will be not the ideal situation, especially if you're Outguard, someone who's only just managed to go through to Q3. It's not looking that good for him. This man, though, Dakar, is dominating, it seems like. P1 in practice 1, P1 in practice 2, P1 in practice 3, P1 in Q1, and, of course, P1 in Q2. The list goes on. It's domination for that man at the moment. But, of course, there's still one more session to go. The all-important session. He can say that he's been P1 in all the sessions before, but this is where it really matters. This is qualifying 3, the final qualifying session where the top 10 here will decide where they start in this race. And it's looking like a Dakar P1, isn't it, G-Force?
Yeah. So let's see whether or not they'll manage to convert this, and we'll have to see whether or not this Q3 will be an exciting one. I do hope definitely someone...
Green flag!
Yep, green flag, and it's go for all the drivers. I do hope someone actually manages to dethrone Dakar because, you know what? It'd be nice to see someone other than Dakar on P1, and obviously me and Dakar. I want to beat him in a competition later, and this would be really good to bully him with. So let's hope that he manages to fumble. But for the rest of the drivers, they'll be fighting with each other to try and get as close to impossible as possible, because let's be honest, Dakar is not going to be P2. But we don't know what will happen, so let's see how Q3 unfolds. We have 8 minutes left and 10 drivers, 10 very fast drivers.
Well, to be honest, G-Force, with the rain only getting worse, I think the pole lap could be whoever gets the fastest lap in these opening minutes might have the pole position if the rain gets worse. Because look at that spray off of Dakar's car. That is insane. Anyone behind won't be able to see what's going on if they're right behind Dakar. So the rain is getting way worse by the minute. If anyone can set the fastest lap in the opening, or in these next 2-3 minutes, I think they'll have pole position.
Yep, for sure, because it'll only ramp up and the conditions will just get even worse now from here. So we'll have to see whether or not these drivers can get a good enough lap time now, because that will probably be indicative. I think we've seen actually something like this before. Malaysia, Season 3, we had ASM 1.4 seconds ahead of everybody, I think, in qualifying, because a perfectly timed qualifying lap, which allowed them to get so up there. So we'll have to see whether or not the repeat happens now here, as we see all the drivers fighting with each other. Train Pig having a good sector 1 there, but I think that's actually his out lap. But now the drivers will finally cross the line for the first sector 1 of this session. Dakar 26 for his sector 1, already 1 second ahead of Chris. There's just no stopping this man, and he is just ahead of everyone else by a significant margin. But everyone else is pretty close together, actually. And we'll have to see whether or not they'll manage to. We'll have to see how the order forms as the rest of the drivers continue to set their laps.
Chris Boy sets the first competitive lap of the session, a 1:46.7. Could that be, with the rain ramping up already, a pole position lap? Well, we'll find out, because this man, Dakar, the Frenchman, in the Turkington, he's going for it. You can see from the slide, see from the aquaplaning, he's going for it. He wants pole position, and he wants it now. Look at all that aquaplaning from the rear of his car. It's unbelievable what this man can do. He is so quick. But is he quicker than the Train Pig, who's set an even quicker lap, a 1:43? Well, final corner for Dakar. Oh, touches the sausage curb. That's going to slow his lap down. Cross the line, and he still takes provisional pole position. An incredibly fast lap compared to everyone else. A 1:38.
5 seconds.
The only person who can match him, or the only person who's closest to him, is Outguard. And as you could hear from our producer, 1.5 seconds is the gap. And surely that's in the running for biggest gap in qualifying history in Romula One, surely.
It's not over yet, though, as I'm praying that someone else tries to at least shorten the gap, as the drivers will still have to go out and try and beat each other. Imagine if the cat didn't race in this league. It'd be so much more closer. Look at the timing spread between P2 and P8, actually. It's around a second, so if only. That's what I go to bed dreaming about every night, if the cat just didn't race in this league, man.
Well, that's why races like the Moroccan Grand Prix 2 weeks ago make this league so special. Outguard, this man, number 87, Crate Motorsports car, absolutely had arguably his best ever drive, getting so close to Dakar, staying with Dakar, and eventually forcing Dakar, the man himself, into a mistake. And that's what won him this race. And guess who's behind Outguard right now on the road? Guess who? It's Dakar. So Dakar does not need to slide from Outguard. Dakar doesn't need to keep going for it. He's in a comfortable position where I think he's probably going to take pole position with this lap. Who knows? It's not over yet, as G4 said, but Outguard is going to have to try again. Oh, slide into the wall from Outguard. Big spin over the curb. And that's his lap. If it wasn't done already, it's done now. No damage to the car, surprisingly, but a big spin. And a close call for the man from Morocco. There's the other Craig overtaking Outguard. Vernon, I believe he's still leading the championship. But we'll wait and see. So currently, G-Force is back. He was muted for a bit.
Yep.
But the man himself is
issues.
back. Technical issues.
Yep. But yeah, I think the times are just getting worse and worse for everyone as they're struggling to improve in these conditions. They're just getting oh so much worse, and Dakar looks to be set on his pedestal 1.6 seconds ahead of everybody else. But it's not over, as some drivers are still setting some decent sector ones. 26.8 for Ratia. Can the PMP Green Lean Man manage to reduce the gap to Dakar? As we ride on board with him now, actually, he is trying to push his best to try and save Romula from his terrible dynasty, going very close to the curb there as he can. The aquaplaning is just not really helping him there, trying to accelerate as much as he can. Oh, but he gets the spin, and that ruins his lap. That's really unfortunate, as he was looking set to improve himself.
By the way, just a quick question. Has Dakar ever won a championship in Romula One?
He hasn't, no.
He hasn't. Okay, so the dynasty could be yet another stat on his iconic career already. Here's Fernan. I believe he's still leading the championship, and he's going to go for it after a somewhat disappointing race for him. Well, I say disappointing. He finished third. It was just that his championship rivals all finished ahead of him. He is going to try and make a comeback from his last race, which was, to him, disappointing, and he's going to cross the line and try to improve, but, oh no, or is he going for a lap?
I think he's going for a lap, actually.
Oh, no, he's off. So no, I do not think, he's done.
That's really unfortunate for him.
For him now, at the very best, it's third place, just like in Morocco. And just like in Morocco, both his championship rivals are ahead of him. Here comes Outguard, and he is on a lap. Let's take a look at the Craig Motorsport man, the reigning winner, who became the King of Morocco just 2 weeks ago.
Yep, as we see a couple drivers left trying to set better sector times. We see a couple greens on there with Ratia again, 7/10s off the Dakar's first sector here, and Chris as well, 26.9. But I don't think they'll come close to Dakar as they try to round off their laps here.
It's going to be very close here, surely, as the timer has ticked down. Actually, Outguard only crossed the line with about 7 seconds remaining. So he got very close to not even being able to make a lap. But he's here now. He's sliding. The car's aquaplaning, and I think, well, that's going to lose him a lot of time. And if that's just a hint at how this lap will end, I don't think it's going to give him pole position here. Dakar's done. Dakar's finished. Dakar ends his qualifying with a 1:38.2, way slower than his practice laps. But then again, it's been raining so hard. There are some sectors of the track that still look pretty dry rain-wise. It's this sector here that a lot of water on the track, but I don't... Okay, well, actually there now. A lot of rain coming down. But for Outguard, tied on points at 94 with Dakar. Would love to beat him. Would love to take the championship lead. He improves, but not enough. Outguard still 1.5 seconds off of Dakar. The dynasty cannot be tarnished. Dakar surely takes pole position at the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yep, and for no one's surprise, he does take pole position. But the Crakes, who did seem to be struggling in FP1 and FP2, have managed to bounce back beautifully, and now they are P2 and P3 occupying the second and third positions on the grid. So that'll be good for them. The Meme Racing cars also having a decent qualifying there, P4 and P6, nothing to complain about. Right, yeah, with a beautiful P5 actually, the PMP driver. PMP are actually in the drop for Season 5 actually, as in they might be dropped from Season 5, but right, yeah, saying, you know, no, he wants to give it another chance, another breath of life into the chances for to stay alive for Season 5. And the Midnight Star, James, having a decent qualifying session for his first one ever in Romula. And, you know, P7 is nothing you can be sad about, but he did have the potential to go very much faster, as we saw in FP1, FP2, FP3, and Q1, even Q2 as well, being very up there. But, you know what, P7, especially in these changing conditions, can't be too sad about that. The G-forces in P8, P9, also, you know, not the best that they could have done, but it will be okay, I guess, for them as they just, as everyone just tries to prepare for the race.
Okay, so now after that incredible qualifying, we're here in the booth, in the oh so iconic now booth for the post-qualifying results. The top three here interviewed, and let's start off with the pole man, the man who's dominated every single session so far this weekend, Dakar. He's looking to make a comeback after that rare mistake in Morocco, and here he is now. And hello, Dakar. Still looking for that championship to add to your list of accomplishments. And
not really. I'm just here for fun. It's gonna be like a rain race or something, apparently today, like fully rain.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I'm like OP in the rain, so I'm not gonna be. It's not gonna be surprising if I run away with it. So
you got pole by 1.5 seconds. That's a massive gap. That's a gap that we rarely ever see. And honestly, you've been so quick. How do you think you're going to do it in the race? What's the strategy like with all this rain? And how do you think you're going to fare against, well, at the moment, the Crakes and the Meme Racing cars?
Well, I'm just going to try to get the fastest lap, and then complete the Grand Lane with a race win. Because it's calling me, like the Grand Chelem of Romula has got my phone number and it's like ready to call me at the end of the race.
Actually, it's not calling you because you know why? You're going to bottle in the race. I mean, there shouldn't be any conflict.
Okay, GeForce, where are your drivers in the race? Where are your drivers in quali?
Qualifying doesn't give good points, is it, huh? Is it, pal?
Oh yeah, only three valuable points for the championship, man.
You haven't scheduled the 1v1 yet.
This interview
next
has
week?
become
next week, done.
Okay, done. Okay, next week we fight.
I will run you off the road.
Okay, Dakar.
I will shank you, Wallahi. Wait, no, that's not the right thing to say.
That's you're on live, mate.
Live television.
Right. I have to line up. I need to exit this booth.
Yeah, line up, pal.
Okay, my setup's gonna be 1-1.
I'm putting a curse on you.
Maybe having a team owner who has a rivalry with Dakar isn't the best person to have in the commentary booth with Dakar. But Dakar, with all this rain, what's the strategy going to look like?
Depends on the rain, honestly, because there's a crossover point. And I don't want to repeat what happened like 3 GPs ago where I had to box twice in 3 laps and eventually ruined my win charge. Because I was 48 seconds down after 3 laps, and I had to make up for it.
Well, thank you, Dakar.
Yeah, Dakar, by the way,
your engines are closed, by the way.
Strategy because you will crash out anyway, so like...
we'll see you after the race, Dakar.
Yeah.
Good luck.
We'll see you in the wall.
Okay, thank you, Dakar, for being in the booth with us.
Thanks.
You can go now.
I'm a dip. Go back to my team.
Get in your car, man.
Bye.
Go back into P20. Go back into your cracked car. Your car that will be crashed and split into 2.
Yeah. Anyways, Dake, could you please leave because we're doing race introductions now?
Okay, wait. I go.
You don't
Bye.
want them anymore.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'll do the introduction then, sure. Well, welcome, folks, to a track in the middle of the summer, in June. Welcome to, surprisingly, for what season we're in, a rainy track in what wasn't even supposed to be a race here. We were supposed to be in South Korea, for round 7 here, and the start of the second half of the Romula One season. But this time we're in Sendai Highland, in Japan, a track that's quickly replaced South Korea for this season, and a track that's stunning to the eyes, but the drivers don't really think the same. They don't like it. It's a track filled with hairpins and fast corners, and it's going to be tricky with all this rain. And at the moment, forecast is telling us 40 to 60% of the track is going to be filled with rain. A lot. And if you stuck with us with qualifying, you'll know the grid order. But here's your grid order anyways for today's race. And at the bottom, in 21st in the KRR, is F1FA. Both the KRRs have been struggling, actually, with Domji in P19 and Gran. For the drivers that I don't know the full name of, I'm just going to say their initials. In 18th, we have Deferred, Volt, Canny, and then Toots. They were all knocked out in Q. Oh, no, actually, no, Toots was got into Q2. But Canny and the rest before him all fell out at the first hurdle. Then we have Toots, Lance, Ratye, Super Joe, Cloxed, and Cubeson before inside the top 10. Actually, no, wait. Oh, shit. Wait. Sorry for my language. Actually, yeah, let me just get to the top 10. So the actual top 10, sorry. I looked at the wrong results. Cloxed, ASM, Chris Boy, James, and Critical Noob. They're at the bottom 5 from the Q3 order. Before Ratye, the Train Pig, Fernan, Algard, and the main man himself on pole position for today, Dakar, in first place.
Dakar.
So if you quickly look up into the booth, a very vibrant booth here today. We just got off an interview with the pole man for today. I'm your host, Kian GP, and alongside me today is Row Racing YouTuber and team owner in Romula One, G-Force, to give you all the data and, of course, entertainment live here on YouTube, presented by... Is King Media Noah? And, of course, a quick shout-out to our lovely producer, Players, who's made this live stream here on YouTube. And if you're watching on Discord, also Discord, a possibility. So thank you, Players, once again. And all the drivers getting ready to go onto the grid. As you can see, there's Dakar in the pit lane. And he's doing a little celebratory dance here, as the rain seems to be gone.
A bit will be back.
so it looks like it will probably be back at some point, but it does not. It's not here at the moment, which could really change the way the strategy will work.
I don't think Cass has got around to setting up yet. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's the dark skies we've been seeing all qualifying on.
Yeah. So the rain did come in a bit early, and now, of course, it's here. So, of course, the weather set to how the actual weather is in Sendai Island, or whatever it's actually called. Is it actually called that Sendai Highland?
It's called Sendai, I think, but this is Sendai Highland Raceway.
Okay. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, thank
there's
you.
The heavy rain, yeah.
And look at that, as we're in front of G-Force's lovely pit box.
It's 40% weather.
It's raining hard. Here's the number 1 and the number 92's pit box. And you can see, look at all the drops falling onto the pit lane. And remember, we're about to go racing, guys. This is going to be chaotic as hell. And if you've enjoyed the highlights reels on YouTube, go subscribe and you can watch all the races from all the seasons live and whenever you want, wherever you want, on demand on YouTube. Romula One, round 7, the start of the second half of this season's incredible title fights between Dakar, Fernand and Outguard. 3 points separate the 3 drivers going into this race, and it's going to be a very entertaining watch. G-Force, predictions?
Dakar to fumble it, Chris will get P1, ASM will get P2, fastest lap obviously, and it's happy days. That's my prediction.
So as you can tell, a very non-biased opinion from the man himself.
And I think Smelly Dakar will go in P24 or whatever.
Of course, the headlines for today's Japanese Grand Prix. Dakar has topped all the 3 practice sessions and all the 3 qualifying sessions. It looks like domination, and to make it even better, he got pole by 1.5 seconds. Things that you don't see very often, if at all.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw such a lead was ASM in Season 3 Malaysia, which was definitely similar conditions to this, I'd say, honestly, and it was definitely a hectic race that followed it. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the win. But yeah, still a very interesting qualifying. Hopefully this time the race is a bit more, I guess, unpredictable.
So, players, are you able to have a look at the cars?
I think our new car's out right now.
Because I remember Berlin, when me and I think it was Mano were told 5 seconds before the race started that the race was starting. So we were still in the middle of our introduction and all the cars just went off. It was a confusing time. But then we, of course, followed it up with Morocco, which surprisingly went smoothly. Unlike this, where we've had technical issues.
Yeah. And
no offense to players.
No Mano as well, which is unfortunate because I was hoping to enjoy my dinner in peace. But I guess there's other things that we have to do.
Yeah, like Romula One.
I do think I'll have to. Hopefully, there's someone that we can sub in mid-game, mid-race.
Mid-game.
Because how am I going to eat?
You should be in the pit box, not the booth.
Yeah, I should be chilling here.
Get down there. Go out in the pouring rain to your pit box. Yeah. Anyways, whenever the cars actually do come out, I'm looking at you players. Can you show us the grid, even if there are no cars? That'd be lovely. That'd be awesome. But currently, yeah, no cars on the grid. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, it's gridding up now. The gridding is up.
Okay, they're gridding. So, 28 laps of the Japanese Grand Prix. Straight to the grid, ladies and gentlemen, in the pouring rain. No out lap, no warm-up lap. It's going to be, unlike most races, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be wrestling. For Dakar, he said in the interview, rain is where he is best. So, for the lead, it might not be a contest, but for second, third, and maybe even fourth, it could be Monday Night Raw on a Saturday night in Japan.
That's 3 a.m. Actually 4 a.m. No, 4:30 a.m. in Japan right now.
And they've stayed up to watch the race.
Staying up to watch the race, absolutely brilliant. They're toying with their Sunday plans for sure.
That's dedication. Well, it's Sunday over here in Japan, but remember, most of you are probably watching on a Saturday evening. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night to everybody watching here on YouTube. We're about to get ready for the Japanese Grand Prix. And like I said earlier, me Key and GP here to host the commentary part of this race. And alongside me today, YouTuber and GeForce Racing owner. Well, the name says it all. GeForce, to give you all the entertainment and, of course, analysis of what's going on in this race. And a quick shout out once again to our lovely producer players for making this live stream possible. Remember, if you like the highlights and all the videos on YouTube, well, you can watch these races live or whenever you want, in full, whenever, wherever. And let's just get to the race. It's raining, it's pouring. It looks so unbelievably wet out there. How the drivers will survive, I don't know. Will the drivers survive? Well, let's find out. Over these next 28 laps, we're going to hopefully see an incredible contest for the championship. The top three in the championship, Fernand, Outgard and Dakar, 3 points in it. So this race could very well decide who takes the lead of the championship and maybe even who is still in this championship hunt. We're waiting for the Crake of Outgard. He's not in his second place slot, or he's getting to it. And look at the rain. We've had delays. Actually, it was supposed to start 5 minutes ago, but we had quite a few delays. And, oh man, it's wet. Scenes of, well, 2022 and 23 Monaco, I'd say, in real life. It is pouring, and that's only 40%. It could very well be 60 later in this race. Well, the countdown is on. It's going to be such a close race here in Sendai Highland in Japan. Welcome to Romula One and welcome to what should be an incredible race. And lights are going on in a few moments and we're going to find out who wins and who goes home. All the drivers, line up. All the drivers are ready. Let's turn to Dakar. Let's turn to the leaders. And let's turn to the start of the Japanese Grand Prix in Romula One. And when the lights are on, well, watch the lights as they're about to go on. Dakar in P1, Outgard alongside him in P2. Lights on. Lights out, away we go! And
that was a very
incredibly long wait for the lights to go off there, and I think Dakar didn't get all too much of a good start. He didn't last week, 2 weeks ago, and he might not have gotten it here. Here we see who's leading. Actually, Dakar has a pretty big gap already, as everyone just goes flying past, and someone's out. Ooh, is someone out already? I don't know. Here's Outgard. Oh, and he's so close to Dakar as well, it looked like. But he's getting pressure. Man. It's side by side, the two Crakes go, actually. Fernand and Outgard both going for it. 3 points in it between these two. Well, these next few positions, and over the course of these next few laps, could decide who takes the lead in the championship. And it's so close between the two Crakes. And maybe even, I think, is that James? Just sneaking by. And he could very well be in a podium position on lap one of, for him, I believe, race one. Oh, God. Wheel spin. Train pig into the wall.
Does train actually go into the wall?
Yeah, but I don't think any of them got damage. Unbelievable. Maybe someone did. Yes, 92, the train pig without a front wing. And what was an incredible start has turned out the worst possible outcome on lap one. Lap one done. Lap two begins. And as the train pig goes into the pit in last position, Dakar going for it, trying to get the fastest lap in the lead of this race. And it's the perfect situation for him. Multiple cars into the pits. multiple cars without a front wing, and the train pig, a man who was one of the favourites actually for this race. Well, it's not looking good for him, G-Force.
Yep, definitely not. As we see James up in P3, it's a very wondrous start for him as we see the rest of the field as well. Algarat, Chris, quite close together actually, as well as 2 hyperdrive cars behind him. Joe, in his debut for hyperdrive, having a good start in the race here as we have 28 laps here of racing action to go, very close to each other. But behind him, you have Critical. He was actually also one of the top drivers for, the favorites to be up there. So Meme Racing are kind of having a little bit of a mare here as they've had really unfortunate start. But let's see whether or not they manage to bounce back, as we do have a lot of racing action left to unfold. The Crakes as well, also close as well. They've had a very good start as well. You can't really expect them to be close to the Care because no one is realistically. He's already pulled 2.6 seconds.
Well, it seems like he's muted. Technical issues, it looks like, for G-Force. Who knows? But back to the action. Here's the number 22, Fernan, who's doing a pretty good job in P2. Toots, has he lost his front wing? Once again, the man who's moved from hyperdrive, he's left the team, and it's not looking good for him. Although, to be honest, it's not looking good for anyone unless your name is Dakar. Oh, yeah, you can see it there. Front wing gone. Once again, it's the same driver, this time on a different lap. He hit the wall there as he went wide on the long, windy hairpin. Not looking good for this man. It's looking terrible for this man, making his debut for his new team.
Yep, Leneva definitely not really having a great, race here, as they haven't been for most of the season, or actually every single race here, as they've only gotten points from the pole position that Falcon had in round 1, being in a drought ever since then. So they are really looking for anything, honestly, to try and make sure that they keep themselves in for Season 5. So it's going to be difficult, as other drivers are just too quick for them. You have Fernan, James, Algar, Chris, and even Critical and Ratye, Super Jope as well, in the top. Idea actually how is this going to fold out.
And once again, G-Force, you were lagging. You're not looking very good with technical wise. It's not looking the best for the G-Force Racing owner. But back to the front, is that Dakar or is that Acer? That's Dakar, isn't it? He's lapping Toots. I mean, Toots has had to pit twice for a broken front wing. But lapped on lap 4, it's not the best outcome, you would say, for him.
Yeah, Toots not really having the best of races, already 100 seconds behind the Ken. That's only going to increase.
Oh. Right, yeah, and the G-Force boys all fighting it out for, this is P5, isn't it? Unless there's a Crake involved. There is, so actually this is top 4 now that James has the podium.
And they're all just very close together. You can see the spread is actually not that much here, as James to Ratye is only 2.4 seconds, which really isn't a lot if you think about it in the long run. So definitely on for the battle for P2 here, as you know, the Care is occupying that P1 spot currently, on track for that Grand Kelem here. But as we focus on these drivers now, they are very close to each other actually, they're taking actually very the variated lines, but they're not too far away from each other to the point where they're sticking with each other quite well here, and they're just keeping with each other, trying to maintain this ahead of the rest of the field behind them, and trying to stay out of the barriers as they continue on their course around Japan.
Well, through the purplish and yellow cars, it's looking so vibrant with that cyan blue car of Ratia. And this man James, who's lost a bit of time, but he's in the podium spot on his debut. He is looking really good, and as I say that, he loses the rear end. He doesn't spin out, but a bit of aquaplaning. You're going to see a lot of that in this race.
Yep, as you see the rest of the cars there. I think the field is starting to spread out a little bit more, but not to the point where cars are seconds away from each other and there is still close battling to go as we are on lap 5 here. We are just watching everybody go around here as well. The midnight start of James still having a very good first weekend here. Only 7 tenths behind Fernando, who think is still the championship leader, but that will surely change as they can. Is in P1, which does gain him many more points than Fernand will get this race, so it will definitely be mixed up here, and Fernand will have lost that championship lead. Now he's just trying to nullify the damage here and try and keep it so that he does manage to stay in P2 at the very least, as he is ahead of his teammate. As we see, actually, a little bit of a spin of Chris there did make my heart jump a little bit there, but it's alright, as he doesn't sustain any damage, but that does lose him a bit of time, and I think that warrants a bit more careful driving for the G-Force driver there.
Well, to everyone watching at home, get in the comments. Who do you think is going to win this race?
Oh, actually, Dom lost his front wing as well. I didn't even realize that, but Dom has lost his front wing, and that's going to be really unfortunate for him, as KR having a mare of a weekend here, down in P14 and only losing more positions as he enters the pits now.
That is awful for KR, a team that have looked pretty good, but now it's not their weekend. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen who are watching at home, quickly in the chat, get the conversation going. Who do you think is going to win this race? Tell me, tell G-Force, tell all of us here at Romula One, and see if you might be able to predict correctly who wins this race. Not as if Dakar is a 6-second gap already.
Yeah, but Dakar is, he's keeping that gap. We just have to focus on the rest of the field now, as actually James and the two crates are very close together. Chris just right behind them. He can pounce, and Ratia also not out of the fight to the PMP driver, determined to take PMP out of the drop zone, and he's actually been doing a phenomenal job. You can't really say the same for his teammate Cubson, who was stolen from originally MA LMR, now Turkington, so that's going to be a really not a good race for the second driver, but hopefully Ratia can take enough points and make it at least a decent weekend for the PMP team. And the rest of the field as well. P8 to P10, very close to each other, separated by mere tenths as well. The Hyperdrive, the Turkington, and the G-Force car trying to get the best of each other. This is not many points they're fighting for, but still points are nonetheless, and they're going to be crucial for the constructors as well as the drivers, even as they try to get as many points as they can possible, because loads of drivers have complained about this track. It's not really been anyone's favorite, but they're still trying to make the most of it, which you can applaud their durability, I guess you could say.
Well, right now, is that Acer? Yeah, it is. Acer AS7 Super Joe in this fight, and he's going to try and catch up to the top of the field, as, of course, compared to Dakar, he is not displaying how he should be racing. He's not doing that well. He had a bad qualifying, but he can, of course, gain time. Oh, a bit. He uses the deep line there. Oh, is that? Oh, I thought a quick spun round for a moment. Thought Outguard had spun, which would not have been good for him.
Yep, for sure. But the Fur has lost his front wing. That's really unfortunate for him. The Artemis boy is not really having the best of weekends, especially being a new lineup, and that just doesn't add to it at all. So that's going to be a huge disappointment as he has to try and make the most of what he can salvage from that. Oh, actually, Fernand did make a mistake here, as he's actually behind with critical now. So he did make a huge mistake. You're right, some Craig did spray now. It was Fernand instead of Algar, and he just lost so much time there. I think it was 6 seconds. So that's going to be really unfortunate for him and his championship chances, as he's just losing even more and more points to his championship rivals, which promotes everybody else who was fighting alongside him by a position. But now that puts him down in P7. He has a lot of work to do behind critical as well.
Oh man. He's only got a 3-point gap over Dakar and Outguard. That's terrible for him. And now it's an Outguard Dakar 1-2, which means he's going to lose so many points from the time he's just lost. Oh, that's awful. Awful for him. But then again, what happened? Did he lose the race? I mean, I don't think we have a replay of it, so, but did he just lose the rear or something?
Yeah, I did think he just lost his rear, and that caused him to go off and lose in time. But thankfully, he didn't lose any damage, which does help him a little bit there. And it does keep the rest of the drivers on edge, and whether or not he can manage to make a comeback.
I reckon he can.
Player says he reckons he can, and he might be able to.
Excuse me, mate. I'm not player. I'm actually Toots879. Thank you.
Who?
Toots.
Surprise, as Toots, the man who has DNF from the race, enters the commentary box. How do you feel about DNFing?
See, look, I was out there to get a record of most front wings broken in the first 3 laps of the race. That's pretty much why I was out there today. Nothing too crazy. You know, can't really drive in the wet. I'm more of like a dry track merchant. Never driven in the wet before, so massive skill issue from me. And I couldn't be asked to race anymore because I was already a lap down. It's pretty fire.
Yep.
Awesome.
Are you are you ready to commentate it for a little bit too? Because you seem like you have nothing else to do considering you're out of the race.
Yeah,
now.
I'm cheering on my boyfriend's Dakar 2 right now. He's cooking.
Damn G-Force.
I really hope he cheats on you. No. I really hope you cheat on him because he doesn't deserve love.
Mate, he's never been in a relationship in his life. Shut up.
But yeah, the cat in P1, 10 seconds ahead of everybody. This is kind of a bit of domination, I'm not going to lie here. But the T2 fight, you can actually just see all the from P2 to P4, they're side by side. They're going into the third sector there. The Rattier as well, definitely interesting to see him up there. The PMP car, he was definitely the underdog, I'd say, and he's proving that he is pretty good in the wet conditions, as he manages to stay ahead, stay with the Craig and James as well. So you really have like 2 underdog teams in the top 4, which is actually kind of interesting to see, or whether or not they managed to maintain that or not, or maybe it's just a stroke of luck that they had.
Bro, just wait until Ratierke's iPhone blows up. It's a matter of time now. Oh, shit!
Oh, unbelievable!
Was that great?
Sorry for the
Yeah,
it was
Outguard is
out.
the wall.
He's not out, but he's finished.
Both Craigs have gone round, and that's big. Fernand spins round, and now Outguard. And Dakar, his chances of taking the championship lead are becoming more and more and more. And the gap, with more and more mistakes being made, is going to become bigger and bigger. Unbelievable.
At this point, just award Dakar the world championship. There's no way this guy's going to make it back anymore. I'll take back everything he said.
I put so much black magic on Algard, and it's managed to put him down in P5 fighting with his teammate there.
Commentator's
really
curse.
Unfortunate for him. But now you actually have 3 underdog teams in, well, not really underdog, but unexpected teams in the top 4. Well, Tarkington doesn't unexpected, but PMP, Midnight Star, and GeForce. Some teams you wouldn't really expect to be up there, but they are, and they're fighting now in these very contemporary conditions.
That's probably the first time I've seen a PMP in the top 5, I'd say, to be honest.
Ray has done pretty well the entire the season, you know. He's not terrible.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing of this kid, to be honest.
And now Rattier has been incredible. He is a great driver. But of course, Dakar still a 10-second
I think James
lead
actually
over
made him.
him.
Sorry to cut you off there, but James has actually made kind of a mistake, and now he's fallen off a bit from the from Rattier and Chris there. Now he's actually kind of behind. So Chris is actually up in. He goes off. No, sorry, I got you. No, he went off there, and now he's. Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No! Ray has lost his front wing. It's actually Chris is in P2. You can tell this is kind of a bit of a dream for me. It's kind of surreal. And Chris is up in P2.
No.
Mate, I've just cursed this kid even more. I swear, every single person I'll talk about, they all just bloody spit out.
Talk about Dakar, talk about James, talk about Alcohol, talk about Fernand, talk about Crit, please.
No, I want Dakar to win.
Unbelievable. Rattier, the luck he's having, what isn't there, that's the problem. It's big for this man, G-Force, up in the booth, as his man, Chris Boy, up into P2. And what at the moment is, I'd say this is the most competitive grid in Roblox racing at the moment. And the leader of it, well, of course it had to be Dakar. And Chris Boy in second. And is it his debut, James? Because he's up in third.
Yeah, James Rigby is cooking. He's been doing a lot of tank chassis. He's a tank chassis merchant, I'd say, but he's actually pretty good with A chassis as well. I remember like a month ago, I used to see him grinding off in the driver testing. He's actually pretty quick, to be fair.
He's looking on for a great performance. Slide from, is that a Craig?
No, I think it was Chris there. It was a very minor slide, but that did allow James to Jam to get some time on him, as now they're quite close together. The two purple cars here, actually, very close towards each other. Let's see who makes the mistake first. My hope is that going on the
Chris
curve
Boy
there.
goes off.
He had to do that though in order to lose
Boy's the
the
man that made the first mistake, and he's let James through. But honestly, for Chris Boy, I think a podium is just fine for him. I mean, I think he'd love to have second, but James now up to second on his debut, no less. It's looking incredible for these boys. We said the rain would mix up everything, and almost halfway through this race, except for Dakar, the top guys in this race are people who you don't normally see in the top three. James in second and Chris Boy in third.
I mean, James is definitely no stranger. He is definitely no stranger to most people here. He is known for being a very fast driver, and he's proving it in Romula here, being in P2. I mean, to be honest, if Dakar wasn't here, he'd be in P1, which would be absolutely fantastic for him. But I think he can settle for P2 right now, as I think the pit period will actually start here, as I think that's actually becoming more applicable, as the weather is actually ramping up 50%. Of water on the track here, and we'll have to see whether or not that will be.
Artemis on wets. Which one is that?
Wow! Cubeson and Deferred, both on wets. So
he's on hard. W Strat. Who is that? Going out in the number 6 Artemis.
That's Deferred. So strategy.
I'll rate that strategy.
It's a good strategy, to be fair.
He's went from inters to wets to hards. That's the slide.
Mate, look at it. Look at the grip on that. That is amazing.
Whoa! We're doing.
Anyway,
JDM
I think nothing much has really happened, to be honest. There's a close fight between Acer
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen Romula Drift? Watching
it right now.
Things.
Acer versus Jope and Asum, I think.
Asum.
Awesome.
Let's have a look.
Asum actually pitting onto the. I think West are starting to become the better tires.
Yeah, man.
It's difficult to manage here, actually, as we can see times just going down and down here, because the Wets are not looking like the best tire here. It's just getting worse now. And I think the crossover period actually started, as we are on 51.4%.
Oh, slide from James.
Launch Droid is on wet. What?
No way! Oh my goodness me! Dakar! Race leader
no.
this entire race! First in every single session! And now, well, G-Force has said it. G-Force, you've cursed a lot of drivers.
What happened?
But this time it might be in a good way. Because Dakar has disconnected, this time of no fault of his own. But now, not Outguard, not Fernan, not even Critical Noob, but James, making his first ever start, is leading the Japanese Grand Prix.
Okay.
And oh my word.
Okay, well, Toots, you want to take over for me as my dinner's looking quite delicious right now.
Mate, I'm absolute shock right now. I just can't believe it.
My goodness.
Our new race leader, first time race entry.
This is incredible. And he goes into the pits. So pit stop for
Even
race
more
leader.
wet.
Into the pits he goes. He's probably going on to wets, as Toot says. Yes, he is. So he'll come out, not in the race lead anymore. He's actually down in 5th. Chris Boy, G-Force man. Or G-Force has just left.
I
But
can't lie. I was expecting more people to pit for wets.
more people. I mean, yeah, it's more rain is coming. It's going to be very interesting, but wow. 2 weeks ago in Marrakesh, you saw Dakar losing out on a race because of a mistake of his own, but this time he's out of the race by no fault of his own. Unbelievable scenes. Dakar went from winning 2 in a row to losing 2 in a row.
Actually,
And the man who everyone thought was unstoppable seems like only one thing could stop him, and it was his internet.
Dakar's back in the race, you know. He's just a lap down, but I reckon he'll be able to claw it back. He's pretty quick in these conditions. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
So it could be this could be history for one of the greatest drives if Dakar still manages to claw back that time and win. We're going to see. Dakar's on the wets now, so... Oh, slide, James! And he needs to be
pretty
careful.
close.
Was he just warming up his tyres? Because he slid quite a bit.
Yeah, that's definitely
He
worn
needs to
out
be
the wets a bit
careful.
there.
He needs to be really careful, Toots.
I'd say it's almost a crossover period. Inters might be a little bit quicker right now, but not like a huge margin of them being quicker. But with Dakar being out there on wets, I reckon the wets are probably the quicker tyre right now.
Well, this has been an unbelievable race already so far. Here's Dakar in the Turkington, a lap down, virtually a lap down. It's going to be tough for him to claw back that time. It's 83 seconds in the coming 14 laps. He's going to need to gain, and with rain getting worse, it can only mean one thing. He's going to get faster and faster, but how fast? And with only half the race left, will he be able to do it?
All right, we've got Joe and Acer in the pits. Those two are battling for a position. I think it was like 6th and 7th or something like that. So we'll see how that ends up in a couple corners. Trying to see who else is pitted now. I think it's just them two.
Oh, there's Outguard. He's gone a bit wild.
Oh no, Rat's in the pit as well. And
That's in the pits. So yeah, everyone's going on to wets. Actually, Deferred's on softs now. He's 3 laps down. Unbelievable.
He's just having the time of his life, to be honest, and I respect that.
He does not care. He's a safety hazard, but I respect it.
That's like the most baller move ever. No.
Is this a fight for 3rd? Yeah, Clocked is in 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable.
I don't know what the strategists of the top 3 teams are doing, but I'd feel like watching the pace of the wets, I'd want to bring my drivers in so then they don't, lose too much time and potentially get undercutted by the people who were chasing them down before. But, it seems like they haven't really unlocked that much intelligence.
It's a very mixed strategy at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon Critical won't be affected by it too much. He's proven himself in last season by being the champion, and I reckon, he'll be quick. Oh, we got more people in the pits. Chris and Critical in pits.
Race leader Chris and Critical top 2, all in the pits. And for James, well,
is he going to come out? 20 seconds. What's the average pit time loss here?
About 20 seconds, I'd say.
Say 24.
James
They're
is
coming down to turn 1.
James is ahead.
Are they going to make it?
Ooh. Oh, this could be interesting.
I think Chris has made it out in front. Has he?
We're going to see. Let's have a look at Chris. If we can.
I can't bloody find him.
That is Chris. So yeah, he's ahead. He's only ahead by just that much. That is close. But that is also quite lucky.
It's really good strategy from Meme Racing and also G-Force there. Managing to take advantage of
from Chris Boy and G-Force not going to like that. Critical Lube takes over at the front of the race. But G-Force hasn't lost that much time from the mistake. He is still leading on our screen.
Yeah, this could be really good for Critical right now. Dakar out of the points and outguards is 5th, so he'll take the lead of the championship most likely here. I think, where is Critical in the championship? I haven't looked at the standings. Let me check real quick. Oh, wow. Never mind. I'll take back everything I said. I thought he was higher up.
So, just so you know, someone in the commentary chat posted, "Hello, I found good server." And it's an 18 plus leaks and Devil's Tango cam. And
oh, this is
so who is it?
We don't worry about it, bro.
Because just so you know, if you're going to post it, I think something like General or even like Media Channel would be a better place to do it than the commentary VC channel.
Yope and Pits. That's pretty late. Is it? Wets. Wow, Dakar has made up 20 seconds.
Clocks into the pits. Clocks comes out of the pits. Down in 8th. It's looking decent for the hyperdrives, even though they just lost our man right next to me in the booth, Toots. How dare you leave hyperdrive? How dare you?
Mate, I didn't leave them. I got kicked out.
What happened? We need to know.
They had enough of me, pretty much.
Damn. I know they got Super Joe, who's actually doing way better than you. Considering he's still in the car and you're up here in the booth with us.
Mate, I was just really just out there to have fun. Obviously, the Hyperdrive were out there for all the seriousness, even though they didn't really need it, to be honest. They have like 60 points. They don't really need Super Yoke, to be honest.
Well, G-Force Racing's Chris Boy still leading. And Critical Lead 1.5 seconds behind.
I'm getting information here that some people might not be able to make it to the end on fuel.
Oh. They're going to have to conserve. That's going to be really interesting. And also, by the way, Dakar's clawed back 20 seconds. 20.
That's pretty mental, to be honest. He's on a mad one right now.
So in just a few laps. Plus, I mean, at least like he gained a lot of time from the pit stops, but he probably gained around, I'd say, 10 seconds in the last few laps, which is mental in itself. But will he be able to win the race still?
I mean, with all the laps running out, I genuinely believe he won't be able to do it, but let's see what happens. I'm hoping, as Chris's, what's it called? No, Critical has lost about 1.2 seconds, I'd say, on Chris. That must have made a huge mistake there.
Oh, yeah. Because now it's Furlan in second, it seems like.
Is it? Oh, I can't see it. I'm behind the bloody building. No, Fernand's still behind, isn't he? No. Yeah, Critical's still in second.
I'm not sure.
Fernand's trailing behind. Let's wait until the sector times, catch up. Yeah, so currently the top 3 are Chris, Critical, and Fernand. See what fuel everybody's on. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't think Fernand's making it to the end of the race. He's got 26%
Fernand went
fuel.
slow through that corner, so I think he's trying to save. And now Outguard is right behind him. And right in front of him is Critical Noob. It's a three-way fight for second. A fight James might have wanted to be in, but he won't be.
Right,
And
so I reckon right now, currently Dom Hidji is not going to make it to the end. Fernand possibly. Outguard also, he's like sort of on the cusps of not making it. I'm also trying to see here. I think pretty much everyone else is going to be safe. It's just them five that I mentioned, or four, can't remember. Yeah, it's just them. It's just both Crakes and one of the KRRs that is probably not going to make it to the end of the race there.
Well, it's not looking so good for the Crakes then, but Chris Boy in the G-Force Racing, leading here in Japan, and it's heaven on earth for G-Force, and for their driver, the same. Maybe for ASM not as much, he's down in 12th, but for Chris Boy, oh, it's looking amazing. Rain's getting... I don't know if Rain's getting worse or if it's just staying the same.
I think right now the rain 58.4. So last time I checked, it was like 52.4. So it's improved quite a bit. So it's starting to become a bit less grip out there. But it seems like it hasn't affected Chris at all, as Critical has gone down to 5 seconds behind Chris. What has happened? Now, Outguard's made his way up into third place here, with James trailing behind. Same with Fernand.
What's happened to Fernand?
Fernand has really dropped off. This might be him trying to save fuel for the end of the race.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he'll want to pick up as many points as he can. And of course, you can't score points if you don't finish. So it's going to be very important for him. As we are currently watching Fernand around the final corner.
I'm going to listen to see if he's lifting coasting. Don't think so, but he's just going really slow right now, probably running high.
He doesn't look like it.
I can't lie. He might be fine because fuel consumption is really low when it comes to wet weather racing due to you not going full throttle pretty much most of the lap. I'd say this might be one of the medium speed tracks, so he might just about get away with it and make it to the end of the race.
Well, there's the G-Force car. Chris Boy leading.
I think I just saw a KRR in the sausage curbs. Don't know who it was.
And that was Dom.
Dom has lost his front wing. Nice. First sector as well. He's not looking good, is it?
Not looking like how he might have wanted it.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Critical has also fallen back a bit more now. Or he's just been caught up by the pack behind him, but it's going to be really difficult for Critical to stay ahead here. Whilst Chris is absolutely...
look at that! Is that deferred? No, that's a KR.
Yeah, they out.
That's Domji. He just slid over the sausage curbs, went flying, went for a rodeo, and well, he still needs to get it to the pits, but it's not a great race for KRR. It's been utter hell for the team.
Oh, he's just crashing into every wall now. I think he's just trying to end his race as soon as possible.
And to think Domji was doing really well last season. Oh, sausage curb nearly takes out Chris Boy.
He's still got a massive gap ahead though, and he's
6 seconds.
Yeah, he's opened up even more now, so he has less pressure on his shoulders. He can probably just sit back and bring it home now. Really depends if Fernand's still trying to save fuel or not.
This has been an unbelievable race for G-Force right now. Sad he's not in the booth with us anymore, because seeing G-Force's car take the lead has been incredible. Chris Boy, has he ever won a Romula One race?
I don't believe so.
Caster, can you put in the chat if Chris Boy has ever won a Romula One race? Because I don't think so.
It's going to be amazing for G-Force.
Yeah, man.
What happened to Asim? I weren't really watching, but I just can't remember when he like crashed out. To be honest, what happened? Kind of forgot he was in this race. To be honest.
It looks like ASM has rage quit.
Oh.
Oh.
Same as me then.
Not a great day for the Turkingtons, it seems like.
As well as all the people behind ASM.
Acer is still running in the points though, so it's good to get some points instead of, having Dakar and P12. I still believe Dakar can get some points though, because he is rapid in these conditions.
He hasn't gained that much time in the last few laps, only 6 seconds. Well, I say only, that is a lot.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near the points.
Now, I think the biggest drop-off was definitely Rat. After he lost his front wing, he must have had like a massive confidence hit, or he's obviously forgotten how to drive, because his pace from earlier on in this race is completely gone. He's P9 now.
It's not looking as well for him as it was a good 10, 20 laps ago. But here the battle for second rages on between the two Craigs. Critical Noob has fallen back. But these two, they're not set to finish if they keep going like this. So their podiums might not happen for them. They should be going slower, conserving. They shouldn't be going at this pace.
I feel like they might just be able to make it to the end. Their fuel consumption has been looking a little bit less recently. Maybe they've been improving on the fuel a bit.
Maybe. A bit.
There isn't really much they can do, to be honest, because these cars eat fuel like it's fucking nothing. My bad for swearing. It's just like
sorry
in
for
my
the
vocabulary.
language. You was at home?
I'm home alone, guys. I can do it.
Yeah, but you're also on stream.
Yeah, but it's not like you're making any money off of this anyway.
Someone in the chat said pray for Leneva.
I rate that. Leneva is not getting saved, guys.
It's in... So, currently their best driver is in 11th, and their other driver is sat right next to me in the booth. And he was just talking. He rates it, apparently. Pray for him. That's all I can say. But look at this battle for second. It's raging on. And I would say they should work together, but they're championship rivals. So they're going for it. Fernan out ahead. And Chris Boy has a big gap to these two.
I'm actually surprised how well Outguard has done to close back into the top three positions here after having that spin, or like whatever he done, that huge mistake he had at the somewhat middle sort of start of this race.
Yeah, but also he's been struggling in this track. So the fact that he's top 3 is really good.
Yeah.
It means his championship might not be gone. For Dakar, this is an important race because he's probably going to score no points.
Yeah, really difficult for Dakar. Disconnecting and pretty much having no control over your own fate, that's really difficult. But I reckon for the next 2 or so races, he'll still be confident. His pacer has been absolutely amazing.
Well, yet again, as I said, Chris Boy, G-Force Racing leading. Chris Boy has not won a race in Romula One, I believe. Wait, Caster, I'm going to ask him. Caster, can you put in the VC chat if Chris Boy
No, he hasn't.
Won a race? No, he hasn't? Okay.
Let's see. Hopefully, Chris should hopefully not make any mistakes now. All he has to do is just coast at home. He's got a big enough gap. I don't think they'll be able to catch up near enough 7 seconds in the next 4 laps unless Chris really drops off.
Well, it's a 6-second gap with a few laps remaining. It's been a really... Well, I wouldn't say close race. It's just been a brawl to stay on the track. And somehow it's ended in Chris Boy leading to what could be his first ever win in Romula One?
I think if Outguard wants to catch Chris right now, he'd have to be going 2 seconds a lap quicker than him. And I think that's going to be difficult to do, especially since the pace that Chris has been doing right now has been so consistent. It's just amazing.
Well, Chris boy, yeah, well, we've been glazing this man.
Absolutely glazing.
Let's have a look at the 5 second, because Critical Noob has caught up. It's a 3-man fight for this now. Well, I say man, but it's 2 men and someone who speaks in well, this was from 2 weeks ago, binary code. If you've seen the Outguard interviews.
Outguard had a little bit of a slide through the chicane, I think. Nothing too major though for him to lose time, but he's definitely catching on Chris. I think that's 2 tenths per sector.
Was that Fernan?
What?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, that was Fernan, not Outguard.
No, mate. I'm currently viewing Outguard, and he had like a little slide, bro.
Damn.
Mate, I know shit that. Oh my god. Sorry, I keep on swearing. I can't control it, bro. What I was going to say is that I can see stuff that you guys can't, because I'm watching orbit whilst above the car to see if any of them make a small mistake. That's what I'm looking for. Small mistakes here, which could cost 2-3 tenths.
Well, yeah, Fernan has lost a lot of time now. Oh, wait. No. Critical Noob and Fernan have lost a lot of time. Outguard's gained so... What happened?
Oh, no. Fernan
made...
That's going to be really close on fuel.
Are they... Okay, so Fernand's saving, but what about Chris boy?
Chris,
The rain percentage, please.
Let me see. Rain percentage is 60%, and Chris. Oh, never mind. I thought that was someone special. Yeah, Chris is not going to run out of fuel. He's completely fine. He probably overfueled, to be honest. He's on 30%. I think he started on 100% fuel.
Well, what a race for this man, Critical Noob. 3 more laps to bring it home. Outguard, I think he has the fuel, but will he be able to catch up to Chris boy? It could be close, either that or Outguard's just gonna try and cruise it to second. Fernan, who did drop for a moment to 5th.
Oh yeah,
James.
Mate, Fernan is definitely making it to the end of the race. The consumption is too low for him to just magically run out of fuel.
Oh wow. So currently, it's looking fine for Fernan. He can go to the end. He can sprint. Does that mean Chris
he can go as quick as he wants? I don't think Chris has to worry. Genuinely.
No, I don't think so either. With a few laps remaining, 2 laps remaining, actually, it's an 11-second gap between him and Fernan. He doesn't need to worry about Fernan. But Outguard's been staying kind of relatively the same in gap. Looking good for... It's looking really good for Chris boy. Here's James, who's going past the Craig of Fernan. So even though he can go as fast as he wants, he isn't going as fast as he wants.
Well, the pace drop-off from Fernan did not expect this to happen at all. I wonder what's happened.
Has he just lost confidence? Because, we got a...
Or maybe has he burnt through his tyres? Let me have a look.
Could very well be.
His tyres are pretty much... They're better than Outguard, and Outguard's still up there, pretty much fighting for... Actually, he's sort of just like doing his own thing now, to be honest, trying to catch Chris. He's caught up quite a bit from the last time we checked. 1.5 seconds he's gained, which is pretty impressive. But James, I don't think it's going to be enough.
James and Fernand's catching a bit. James, who was leading, now I think he's going to be glad with a top 5 finish in his first ever race. Penultimate lap we're on. So soon we are going to look at Chris boy for the final remaining moments of this race. But here, Fernan going for it. He's got the fuel to make it. He's got the tyres to make it. But so close between him and the sausage curb. It seems like he's just not going as fast as he really can. Fernand, who's on his day, so incredibly quick, just isn't showing it right here tonight in Japan.
I just think Fernand can't handle the pressure of being in a title fight. Like,
Damn.
I'm not trying to be rude here, but he has been fumbling recently.
To be honest, you're saying I'm not trying to be rude, but you've absolutely, I'll just say pooped instead of a swear word on all the drivers. So, I mean, you should be talking considering you finished last with 2 broken front wings.
3, actually, 3. But yeah.
3.
Let's just bring up the IRL karting statistics, then we can see who's talking.
yeah, definitely. And where are you right now on the graphics?
I think that says P1, to be honest.
Yeah, P1 for Chris Boy. Let's go to Chris Boy actually, because he's about to start the final lap.
Now this is probably Has Chris Boy made a mistake here? Because how has Outguard made up like almost 2 seconds?
Has
in, like,
he?
one lap? Yeah, look.
The gap's 3.4.
I don't think it's going to be
Final
enough.
Final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. Hurry up, little man. You're on course to win your first ever race.
Outguard is trying absolutely everything right now to catch up to Chris, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Critical is also catching up to Outguard right now.
It's gonna be very, very close. And for this man in the G-Force car, where are we on the track right now? Because I want to know where the start-finish straight is.
We are currently going through Sector 2, the start of Sector 2 right now, down the DRS straight.
Okay. Well, a DRS straight that hasn't been utilised for DRS. It's been raining all day long and all night long. Well, it's been an incredible race. And G-Force, who had to leave the booth early... And he is going to celebrate like a madman, knowing that his team is going to win for the first time ever. This man, Chris Boy.
Oh my God. There's a little fight for P2 here. Critical has made up some impressive ground.
We'll look at it in a sec after Chris Boy crosses line. But Chris Boy, a man who is widely known as one of the best drivers in road racing, but never in the top series of Roblox Racing, Romula One, has he won a race? Never has G-Force Racing won a race. A YouTuber and one of the most popular drivers on the grid. If he can do what he's just done today, what can he do in the future? He comes to the line. Chris Boy wins the Japanese Grand Prix.
Critical.
What a race from this man. Oh, God. Wins the drag race to the line for second and subsequently takes home the championship lead.
What a race for Critical, to be honest. It was amazing watching him drive, catching up so much to Outguard at the end of the race. And Fernand's finally ran out of fuel going over the line, which
wow. So
impressively he has just made it.
Unbelievable race. And you can see there, 60% is the rain. We started with 0. What a journey it's been.
Actually 40. The race started at 40, mate.
I'm talking about the start of the stream, you little...
Oh, my bad. How has Lance Droid made it to the end of the race on Inters? What?
I completely forgot he existed. Well, for Dakar, it's not a very good race for him. He was supposed to dominate, but instead he's out of the points.
I think with what Dakar was given after his disconnection, I think it's really impressive what he did as well. I mean, he closed up the gap quite a bit from...
He gained about 40 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's really impressive, to be honest.
Really impressive. But anyways, what a win for Chris Boy. What a win for G-Force Racing. And we're gonna, see him up in the booth. Toots, you're a widely known fast driver. What do you make of Chris Boy's performance?
I'd say absolutely no mistakes at all. You know, it was just really impressive, to say the least. I'm also going to say that this is probably the first time that I've seen Chris actually fighting at the top. Usually I'd see him around like the midfield, but obviously he came alive in this wet weather today.
Well, here are the cars. Critical Noob in P3 from Outguard, who takes the championship lead in P2, and of course the winner of the Japanese Grand Prix, Chris Boy, for the first time ever.
Oh my days.
Oh, well, hello again to G-Force.
Welcome back, G-Force.
Oh,
The man. G-Force, you left at the worst timing, mate.
Oh my days.
G-Force Racing and Chris Boy have won a Romula One Grand Prix.
I've never been more happy in my life. Oh my days, we actually finally won a race. I'm so happy.
I just want to know.
Unbelievable.
I just want to know, what did you feed him for breakfast? Because that performance was absolutely flawless, bro.
Bro, I seriously messaged him. We were talking before the race. He was like, I can go so much faster, and he proved that he can. Honestly, there was like almost no mistakes during that race. It's actually like something that I wanted for so long.
Congratulations, G-Force. And honestly, what a drive from Chris Boy. Let's have a quick interview. Let's start off with the P3 man, Critical Noob, who had a great race in the end. Hello, Critical. You had a really good race, really good pace, and you utilised that and turned it into a podium. How was it?
Yeah, it was a decent race. P3, can't complain about it. I'm just unhappy about, like, I think I had the wrong setup. I was missing a lot of front wing. Yeah, but I did the best I could. And yeah, credits to Chris. He was insanely fast. I could not keep up with him. So yeah, but decent race overall.
And I mean, it was difficult with all the rain and stuff, but in the end, you managed to pull through, take the P3. Honestly, you got really close to Outguard at the end, but how was your pace? Because it seemed like you were dropping off a lot and then gaining a lot of time and then dropping off again, and it became a loop. What was going on with that?
I think it's just like as I said, I wasn't on high wings, high front wings. So on fresh tires, it was good. Like I was very fast, but as soon as the tires started getting older, I started dropping off, and yeah, I couldn't keep up with Chris anymore, and yeah, just did the best I could at the end.
Well, thank you, Critical. Toots, any more questions for Critical Noob?
I just want to know, how quick were you going in like the last couple laps of the race? Because the amount of time you caught up to Outguard was just immense.
I was basically full pushing the last laps, just risking it all, and yeah, the last lap was really good actually. Yeah.
Mate, I'm genuinely surprised you didn't get P2. I think Outguard got you through the chicane though. I was watching the gaps and it just looked like you dropped off through the last chicane.
Yeah, Outguard was just really consistent. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah. I think that's it, to be honest.
Okay, well, thank you, Critical Noob. And make sure to spray a lot of champagne on the podium. Now, let's look here. We've gotten P2 in the race. It's Outguard. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we even need to ask any questions. Here's our daily soundboard for Romula One, presented by Outguard. That was lovely. Any more words, Outguard?
Pretty accurate, to be honest.
Awesome words. That was a really strong quote from Outguard. Well, we don't have Chris Boy in here, I believe.
You could really tell the emotions from Outguard in that one quote.
And here we have, before we get to the podium, Fernan. It wasn't the race you may have wanted. And now you've lost the championship lead to teammate Outguard. But overall, what do you think of this race?
I should have been the one to put Outguard's audio. Anyways, all I can say is we probably have some situations to solve within the internal part of our team. The field management I had to try harder a lot to be able to even finish the race. That should have never happened. So I'm gonna see if I can take some parts into my own hands to see if we can solve that. I think we've had enough.
Okay. Any more questions, Toots, before we get to the podium ceremony?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, Fernand, thank you for taking your time to go up to the booth and answer the question that I had for you. And congratulations on your P5 finish. But now it's time for the podium ceremony to end off this incredible weekend of Romula One racing. And it's the boys in purple, yellow, and black celebrating for days. Chris Boy from the Netherlands winning this race. Ladies and gentlemen, it's podium time. And in P3 here for the Japanese Grand Prix, Critical Noob from Germany in the meme racing car takes P3.
What is this G-Force engine? Yeah, get out of here.
And for P2, the man from Morocco, the man in the crake, who now takes the championship lead, it's Outguard, winner in Morocco, and now P2 and championship leader here in Japan. But of course,
Outguard fell off the podium.
Time ever for both team and driver from the lowlands of the Netherlands. It's a man who somehow has never won in Romula One, so quick on his day, and has finally won here in Romula One. Chris Boy from the Netherlands for G-Force Racing wins the Japanese Grand Prix.
Oh, hell no. We have to hear the Dutch anthem for probably the second time this
Let's
what's
go.
it called? This month. Not this month, this weekend, because I reckon Max is going to win Spain as well.
Is Chris Boy in the chat? Because I'd like to interview him.
Oh, yeah. Get Chris in here. I want to talk to
get Chris in here. Get Chris in here, because guess what? I can speak Dutch. So
yeah, I don't believe that one bit, mate.
What? That
Go on, mate.
You want to see me? Nou, gefeliciteerd for
what does that even mean?
Chris Boy. Congratulations. En nu het huidige Nederlandse nationale muziek.
Mate, I swear to God, this kid just called me a bloody nacho. I just heard him.
Bro, who called you what?
I heard you say nacho, and I'm guessing that's you, mate. Mate, is Chris Boy Max Verstappen?
National.
No! No! Not the Dutch Nance. Fuck, I can't speak.
Wilhelm.
Guys, sing it.
Wait, let me pull up the lyrics.
This guy. Okay. Caster, can we have a look in general? Because this guy just called me the N-word.
What do you mean?
Look in general, ban that guy. He's racist.
Wilhelmus van Nassau. Why is it? What do you mean in Dutch? Half of it's in German.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. I'm currently slapping my meat to the anthem.
Apologies for the language. Why was that so funny to me? No.
Oh, thank God that was cut short.
So yeah, it's a pretty short, and it's the one used in sporting events is pretty short. Champagne is being sprayed, and it's the Dutchman G-Force. Well, not G-Force. Chris Boy in the G-Force who wins. To the viewers at home, thank you so much
Pray all over me, Valley.
And
okay, who just said that?
Oh God. And a big thank you. And considering we have a Dutch winner, dankjewel voor het kijken. I've been Kian GP. Alongside me has been a constructor winner G-Force, washed racing driver Toots.
Oh,
and our
shut
lovely
up,
producer
mate.
players for the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you all for watching. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Please subscribe.
wherever
I
you
get
are.
paid for this.
You are not getting paid.
Yes, I am.
Done.